Cameron, Texas, located in the heart of central Texas, deep in Milam County, is known for its quaint hometown feel. From the friendly smiling faces and the abundant community parks to the beautifully restored courthouse, the history runs deep in the small Texas community. A drive across Texas with a stop in Cameron will certainly bring a Texas-sized smile to your face, and that's coming from a Texan. Hey folks, welcome to Drive Across Texas. I am Pat Waters. Today we're in Cameron, Texas, the county seat of Milam County. We're visiting with Charles Keene, the curator of the Milam County Historical Museum. Charles, how are you doing?
That's right. Good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and allowing us to come in here and kind of soak up the history and the knowledge of Milam County. How long have you been the curator here?
Well, close to 30 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
I started here as a volunteer some years ago and then worked up, and I left here and came back and worked part-time, and then I was full-time, and now I'm kind of partially retired, but I'm still here.
That's awesome. That's a good deal. Tell me, if our viewers, they're driving all the way across Texas, they come from out of state, they come from overseas. Why would somebody want to come down here to Cameron and check out the Milam County Historical Museum?
Well, we like to say we're in the heart of things. So we're almost dead in the center of Texas. We're almost equidistant from every major city, universities, everything. We're close to A&M, Baylor, Houston, just about everything. So we're kind of a hub here, and I'm hoping at some point we will become a bigger hub. So and there's a lot of history here. There's Robertson's Colony out here, and Nashville, and there's just lots of history here that people should know about.
Yeah, I agree with you. People should know. That's kind of our mission statement here. We want to kind of pull up the history of the different, of all the 254 counties in this great state of Texas. Now, you said something off air a while ago that really intrigued me. You said when Milam County initially was from Fort Worth to San Marcos?
Down to San Marcos, yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And it took up 1/5 of the state of Texas. So it was a pretty large tract. So it was about till 1847, and they started dividing it up into 47 other counties and parts of counties. It was from 1836 up to about 1847, it was a huge county. So you'd imagine trying to police that much territory.
Well, that'd be crazy. And on horseback at that.
Yeah, right.
That is crazy. I want to ask you a simple question here. Like you said, you've been the curator here off and on, part-time, full-time for 30 years. What is your favorite thing inside the museum here?
Actually, my favorite item is a Civil War hat. It's kind of a slouch, kind of tan, everyday cowboy hat like most men would wear. The men that stay behind to protect the territory, who initially became Texas Rangers. At night around the campfires, they sat around with their horses and everything, and they pulled hair out of the horses' tails, and they wove these braided designs and intricately decorated these hats. So wow. I have one, I've never seen another one, but I have that one, and it is my favorite piece.
That is great. I've got one more question for you, and we've been cruising around Cameron, Texas today, and it's just a quaint, beautiful town. And if you were going to tell everybody that has the opportunity and the good fortune to watch an episode where you're on Drive Across Texas, why would you tell them to come down here to Milam County?
Well, there's a lot to see. There's a lot of history. We have a mission site out here between here and Rockdale. There are lots of historical markers around here. There are we have 3 museums here. The courthouse, of course, itself is kind of a monument to itself. It's a bit of architectural, and also the jail building is also an architectural wonder. There's only another one like it in Belleville, and it was built by the Pauley Jail Company, and they're still in business building jails today.
That's amazing. We drove by that a while ago. The thing looks like a dang cathedral.
Well, I think it's amazing that 1891, 1895, that people had that much money to spend on things like that. But they were supposed to be signs of power, and they're still here today.
Charles, earlier you mentioned that you have 3 different museums here in Cameron.
Right.
You know, Milam County, the county seat of Cameron is a county seat of Milam County.
Right.
And, you know, there's got to be some partnerships or other people working. So how does that work here in the historical museum and the other 2 museums?
Well, when I first started here, all we had really was the jail over there. And I had a group of women that were very strong and very, you know, devoted to history here. And all of us together brought the county in, and of course they own the buildings for the museums. And then I have a board of directors that deals with the everyday business of the museum, and the museum owns the contents. So we work together. This is our 41st year here as a museum. So,
you know, that's great. And, you know, and we go around, like I said, we do episodes in all 254 counties in this great state of Texas. And it's, you know, it's kind of a common theme, a common denominator that, you know, when you're raised up somewhere, you definitely want to make that history survive and pass it on to the future generations. And I must say that y'all are doing a great job of that.
well, we are very proud of it because it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is, yeah, we probably have something more than you would find in any other county or town this size. We even built a vault back here. And there's so much of this history, and so much of it was out there, and getting it reined in was the work, because people, you know, they grew up with all this stuff and they didn't really care that much about it, and they were kind of dumping a lot of it, and so I had to convince them all, don't do that. So we are here, and I've got, you know, half this building is just storage with artifacts and things. So we take care of everything mostly in the county. In fact, they call me Mr. Museum. And so, anyway, we are the receptacle for the history and everything that survives here. And everybody on my board and all of us and all the people that help out here are all devoted to that one thing, is protecting and preserving the history here.
Well, that's great. I'm going to tell you, I want to commend you for a
thank
job well done, Mr. Museum, and then also the county and also your board of directors, because what y'all are doing is amazing, and the future generations ought to be very excited about
Well,
it.
it is a labor of love for all of us.
Absolutely. A love-hate relationship.
Sometimes.
Charles, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Y'all remember that's coming from a Texan. Adios.